Hi, this is Alan Tate, founder of My Yoga Stream and a creative of instant energy for busy office professionals and entrepreneurs through yoga, qigong, acupressure, and meditation. And this is a part of Everyday Hero series where we have a special guest, Dr. Wayne Pernell, the author of Choosing Your Power, okay, becoming who you deserve to be at home and in the world. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, pleasure.
Pleasure having you.
Yeah.
So, Wayne,
Yes.
tell us about this book. Like, what inspires you to write this book?
I love this book. About 30 years ago, I thought I wanted to write a book. And along the way, I was realizing my background's in clinical psychology, and I've always been interested in people, right? And looking at their daily struggles, their daily lives, I wanted to acknowledge people for just getting on with their day. You know, what does it take to get up and get through it? And so I wrote this book. I started writing some notes for a book I thought I was going to call A Worthy Struggle. And then I realized as I was writing that I was focusing on the struggle, and I was not focusing on, wow, you know what, people actually get through their struggles, and what does it take to do that? And what it takes is to actually step into being you. Really being you, living your life, step in and live your life fulfilled and really just be. And so the whole book, there are 11 chapters, and each chapter is about how do you just be? How do you become more you so that you can live your life fulfilled? And it's about living authentically,
Okay.
productively, powerfully. So that's what it's about. And I just wanted to get that message out that anybody who feels stuck can get to the next level.
Wow. So I'm sure you had your own personal struggle that you had to deal with. And if you had this really vulnerable struggles that you had to deal with in your past,
Yeah.
the most like enduring, but the most like just gut wrenching, like the one just stabbing you in the heart, like, oh. Which one would that be?
So, yeah, I realized that along the way we each have our own stories, right? And I realized that I grew up wanting to be liked. I mean, who doesn't want to be liked, right? So, but I grew up wanting to make nice for everybody. And that was energy expensive, because if you spend your life trying to make it okay for everybody, you end up almost having nothing left for yourself. And I went through a period of really going along to get along. I went through a period of giving myself away. I went through a period of, I think this was all throughout from childhood into adulthood. And I reached this point of big turmoil in my life. There were so many things going on for me, so many things. And I just was met with self-reflection. Like, bang, I hit a wall where I couldn't go any further. I had to look inside. And I found myself visiting my brother, and I was sitting on his living room floor in Nevada, and we were sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, let's get a pizza." And I said, "Sure, pizza's good." At the time, pizza was good. And he picks up the phone, and he starts to dial, and he says, "What do you want? What do you like on your pizza?" And I said, "Well, I blurted out a couple of things, and he starts to dial to actually place the order, and I stopped him. And he looks at me, he's like, "Well, what? What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, actually, I told you what I know other people like on their pizza. I hadn't really paused to think about what do I like on mine." And I was so busy, I realized that I had been so busy in making it okay for other people to have what they like, that I knew the orders of other people. And something that simple, the ordering of a pizza, and it's like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And at the same time, it was, wow. I came face to face with, if it was as simple as what do I like on my pizza, what else? What other decisions had I given away to other people? And where was I? Who was I? And so that was sort of the impetus to really start journaling again and putting my thoughts into paper and creating this journey from the worthy struggle into choosing your power and really stepping into choosing your power. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for sure. In terms of my life, very much like you, I'm a giver as well. And sometimes we give so much that we forget to take care of our own self.
Yeah.
And more so that we lose our own identity. What do we really want in life? And what makes us happy?
Yeah.
Especially you can imagine at a workplace or in my previous relationship too. I was give so much, and I lost myself, and I was miserable, right? So I'm sure you have similar experience with that as well.
Well, it's incredible. The more people I talk to, the more people I hear that exact story. That it's like, yeah, I was a giver, or I am a giver. And there's nothing wrong with being a giver. There's not. The thing is that you have to know when you've given enough or given too much. And you can't be engaged in choosing your power if you're at the same time engaged in giving it away. Right? And so that's really, the more I hear stories like yours and like mine and, making nice for everybody else, it's, there's nothing wrong with being nice. There's, it's knowing that you have to have reserves for yourself. You can't give what you don't have. And so that's really, one of the pieces of the book is that. The other pieces I think that maybe your viewers would find interesting are about relationship, that I wrote about relationships, and I wrote about communication watchwords, and what else? I wrote about giving yourself permission. Can you give yourself permission? So, the word relationship. Yeah. Here's your Latin quiz, Alan. It's
I'm going to fill out this already.
All right. So the word relationship is broken into three parts. Relationship.
Okay.
Right. And so means if you were to redo something, you'd be doing it
again.
Good. So he passed number one. Right, so is again. Right. Lation is the tough one. Lation is the way things come together. It's the state of coming together. And actually, ship means state of. Like township is like the state of having a town, so hardship is the state of having hard times, right? Well, relationship is then the state of coming together again. And most people get into trouble when they think of a relationship as a single thing, like a snapshot in time. And, in my history, with my background in clinical psychology, I would see couples. And they'd come in and the guy would say, well, she's not the woman I married. Oh, he's not the man I thought he'd become. And I'm hearing things like, well, he wanted her to stay the same as when they got married, which isn't going to happen. And she wanted him to become something she could mold, which isn't going to happen. What works is to recognize that as individuals, we're both growing, right? We're growing independently. And the part that's magical about the relationship is that we can grow independently and come back together, and grow independently and come back together, and grow independently and come back together. Where relationships go badly is where one person grows and the other person stays stuck, or where two people grow apart. Yeah. And so you'll read more about that in the book in the chapter on relationships. The other thing that's cool is I have 10 key watchwords, right? And so the top 3 watchwords, most people think of watchwords, it's like communication, right? So if you were to eliminate 3 key words out of your vocabulary, your relationships would start to get better.
Okay.
If you were to eliminate 10 of them, I'll talk to you about 3 of them. I have 10 of them in the book.
Okay.
So the top 3 are why.
Okay. Why.
Why, but, and should.
Should.
So those are the top 3.
So why, but, should.
Right. So I go, Alan, eliminate why from your vocabulary, and you go,
why?
Exactly. See, isn't that the first thing you want to know? It's like, why should I do that? Why should I do that? Right. So when you ask a why question, what's the first word that comes out of my mouth? Why did you do that? Why should I eliminate it? What's the first word I'm going to say?
I don't know what the first word you're going to say, but I can automatically think from psychology perspective, you're going to become defensive.
Yes, exactly. So the first word, typically, if someone says why, you go because, and then you find, right? Then
justification.
Exactly. The reason for it. And so what why does is it puts you in a parental judgmental role And you may be accidentally pushing somebody away by asking a why question when you're seriously just curious. And so the thing that I'm going to advise you to do is to not push somebody away because of your curiosity. It's good to be curious, but don't push away, right? So you ask what or how questions, right? So, how did you come to that decision? Not, why are we standing here? It's like, well, how do we pick this place, right?
Yeah.
A great example is, why are your clothes still on the floor, right? Now that's fighting. Those are fighting words.
Right.
Because you don't want the answer. My clothes are on the floor because I dropped them there. Duh, right?
Right.
Okay. So a better question is really to get to what I call the envisioned positive outcome, which is, what do you really want to see? You want to see a clear floor that everybody can use. So what would it take to have you get your clothes put away, right? Think about parent to teen, or even parent to spouse. Sometimes it works that way. Not parent to spouse, spouse to spouse, right? So the goal is to get out of parent role and come to adult. So you've got to stop asking why. You start asking questions that get you to the end result. But is the second one. And most people know about but. What I do is I heighten it for people to make it absurd, so that when you hear yourself do it, you get to this place of, oh, did I just do that? But is dangerous because I don't want anybody to make butt face.
Right,
But, well, if I say something, see, conversation has become a competitive sport. In America, at least, conversation's a competitive sport. It takes training to slow down and actually listen, as you're doing, to, what is the other person saying? What is the other person meaning? Because usually we have so much going on, there's so much chatter going on, that we lose track of what the other person's saying. And so you're busy building an argument. Yeah, but. And so the trick is to really get to this place of going and. Right? You have black shoes, but I have brown shoes. So it sort of makes my shoes sound better than your shoes.
My shoes are still better, though.
I'm saying we're inclusive. So if you substitute the word and, listen to the difference. You have black shoes, but I have brown shoes.
Right.
You have black shoes, and I have brown shoes. Okay, so we're both wearing shoes, and it's inclusive. Now, shoes is a really kind of silly example. And, not but think about what I'm going to say. And think about it.
Right.
At what level? If you take it from shoes, I had a manager tell his team, July and August were really great months, but we have September to get through. And he was trying to motivate people, and he ended up demotivating people.
Yeah.
July and August were great months, and we have September to get through. It's like, yeah, let's
energy
do
is
it.
totally different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then should is the last of the top three. And so should is, again, it puts you in this judgmental place. And if you're on the receiving end, you know how badly it feels to be should on, right? So don't go shoulding all over everybody. And that's the thing, is that these were called shoulders, right? And if you should have been doing something, because they climb up around your ears.
Yeah.
So you've got to let go of those. And, you can't fix, like, you should have been here earlier. Well, you can't fix what time it is now. You should have taken a different route. We're in traffic. You can't fix that. So the thing to do that's more empowering is to go, okay, given where I am now, what's available to me? And that's how you step into and really, really, really engage in choosing your power. Okay, so those are some of the top concepts, and I know we have a limited time, so I wanted to make sure that you and your viewers got a sense of the book and my story. So. And
it's just that slight shift, right? Like, for example, from but to and.
Absolutely.
Right? Or pay attention to why, change that, and change that to how. It's just a little shift that we don't know about that makes a big impact.
Huge impact. Yeah. Huge impact. Yeah.
So Wayne, if there's one thing you'd like to share with our audience to help us inspire them, what would it be?
So, that one thing is that choice leads to freedom, and that you have personal freedom. You can step into choosing your power when you know you have it. And so actually having an awareness gives you choice. Having choice builds your awareness, And that's an upward spiral that allows you more and more and more greater freedom and power in the world. And that's why I'm saying, step in and begin choosing your power. Book.
Absolutely.
Choosing your power.
So look this up on Amazon.
It's there.
It's there already.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's also the name of my website, choosingyourpower.com.
Choosingyourpower.com. So more information, go to choosingyourpower.com. And also, if you like this video series, feel free to visit my yoga stream, www.myyogastream.com for your free gift and for updates on videos as well. Until then, live your dreams. Love unconditionally. Journey with your heart by spreading love and joy. To lie within you, to lie within me. Namaste.